Hi everyone, today I wanted to talk about getting started because we are in October and October is harvest season, but it's also a time to get done the things you wanted to get done for 2023 and also to plant the seeds for 2024. So anyone who knows me knows that my absolute favorite holiday is New Year's Day. I love New Year's, I love new starts, I love all things new. New months, new seasons, new moons, all of that. And New Year's is like the queen of all that. And so I began my feelings, my thoughts, my reevaluations, my intentions for the coming year, usually around this time of year. Fall somehow gets me moving in that direction. And I was thinking about how does one get started? Because sometimes the thing that keeps you from your goal is not even starting. And so we see this in many places in life. We see this in people that are highly talented but never actually get to do the things they wanted to do, or someone who has an intention to do something and doesn't get to do that. We see it in ourselves when, oh, we really want this outcome and we never even start on the road. And I see this all the time as it relates to health. I've experienced this myself, where for years I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. And it didn't happen. So how do you get started? I think that the most important thing, the most important concept to really soak into you, to get to a goal, to have an intention manifest, to reach where you want to reach, to be who you want to be, is action. Action, action, action. And so how do you get started? You literally get started by doing the next thing, the next right step, as I call it, or the next inspired action, or the next thing that is going to begin to move you into the trajectory of where you want to go. And I always say that the wisdom is found in the doing. So say for instance, because I love working with clients that are doing health transformations and weight loss, and that, as you know, is very dear to my soul. In weight loss, okay, so let's say I need to lose 20 pounds. Say I need to lose 50 pounds. Say I need to lose 100 pounds. How do I even begin to do that? And my best advice is you start right now. You start right now exactly where you are. You start right now. And there is no finish line. There's no due date. The only thing you literally have to do is begin to do one thing differently. So oftentimes the barrier to entry, shall we say, is that we feel like, okay, we're using weight loss as our example. We feel like, okay, we want to lose weight. So I have to completely throw out everything in my refrigerator. I have to redo my cabinets. I need to get new workout clothes. I need to sign up for a workout class. I need new sneakers. I have to completely change how I'm eating. I basically have to turn my life upside down. And for some of us, that's the thing that you need to do. And for some of us, that keeps us from even taking the very first step. And so I'm here to tell you that the most important thing is to take that very first step. And so when you think about your goal, what is the smallest thing you can do that would put you in the direction of your goal? And for weight loss, for instance, there are many small actions. You could swap soda for water. That's one thing that my dad did. My dad, he lost like 30 pounds. He's probably at the time in the mid 300s. What did he do? He stopped drinking soda and he swapped it for water, and he stopped eating as many donuts. And that made a massive impact. And so that's like taking There are two actionable things he could do. He could swap out soda for water, and he could stop eating as many donuts. Donuts are things that my dad absolutely loves. So that was it. That's all he did. And then once he saw the results, then he started doing other things. He's like, well, maybe I'll eat fish instead of beef and chicken. Or I'll start eating a salad before I sit down and eat my dinner. Or I'll go for a walk. So all of these other changes began to layer on top of his initial change. And that's the power of action. When we take the first step, and I truly believe that the universe comes with us, comes to support us, and it gives us the very next step, and the next step, and the next step, and the next step. And so don't allow for this oh my gosh, I need to do all these new things. I need to change all these parts of my life to be what stops you. So that's thing number one. How do we get started? We begin taking action. Any kind of action. No action is too small. No action is too insignificant. No action is too unimportant. The second thing that we do is we promise ourselves to not give up on ourselves. That no matter what, and this is what I call parenting yourself. So imagine you're the world's greatest parent, and you're promising, I'm not gonna give up on your dream. I'm not gonna give up on you ever. And so it doesn't matter if it takes you a year to get there or if it takes you 3 years to get there. You are committed to staying by your side. And I say that because I am the literally most impatient person on the planet. So there's this gorgeous vest coat that I want to buy that it fits perfectly on top. It's a little tight at the bottom, and so I want to lose 5 pounds. And I literally want to do that yesterday. I want to lose 5 pounds in probably less than a week. So I am that kind of person. I'm that kind of person that wants instant change. If I decide, okay, I need to redo a room, I'm the one who can't wait for the painter, and I'm on the ladder painting the room the color I want it to be. So I'm an instantaneous person. But that instantaneousness works in many ways, but it can defeat our starting process, because we can have the mentality that if something's not happening now, if I don't see the results right this instant, then I'm doing it wrong, it's not gonna work, this is not for me, I can't do this. That's not true. And so when you commit to seeing yourself through the process, you commit to seeing yourself through the process no matter how long it takes. And so when I did my big weight loss, I told myself, you're gonna do this for a year, no questions asked, a whole entire year. And I committed to being with myself in that year. By the end of that year, I was literally where I wanted to be. And there had been ups and there had been downs and there had been stalls and all that kind of stuff. But within a year, I was where I needed to be. If I had told myself, okay, you're going to lose this weight in 6 months, I probably would have given up halfway through, month 3, because I wasn't on the trajectory of where I needed to be. And when we see defeat, it's completely disheartening. So we need to place ourselves in an environment of complete win. Win, win, win. Yay, I won. Because that's what keeps us going. That's what keeps us motivated. So your promise to yourself is, I'm gonna see myself through until I get to the end goal. And the other part of that is that it allows you to change. It allows you to, if something's not working, to do something else. So for instance, when I started my weight loss journey, my plan was, okay, I'll just cut out these things and everything would be okay. Well, for my body, that did not work at all. And so weight loss, I started going to the gym every day, and in a month, nothing had happened. So giving myself a whole long trajectory, 12 months to figure this out, gave me time to course correct. It gave me time to say, okay, that tactic isn't working. What else would work? And so I landed on eating protein and vegetables and a little fruit. That did the trick. And there were times in this process where there were stalls. And so I'm like, okay, what do I need to do during this plateau? And it gave me time to workshop, okay, let's do a juice cleanse and see what happens. And then it got me through that plateau. So I'm very much of an advocate of staying the course with yourself. And the commitment is to the end goal. So my commitment was, I'm going to learn to feed myself so that I can lose weight. I'm going to learn how to do this. I'm going to learn how to do this sustainably, where I never have to go through this process again, except to buy my best. That's a different story there. That's like pure, just my own craziness. But so that is the second point. Commit yourself to staying with yourself, going through the process. And the third thing, how to get started. So one of my favorite sayings is, where attention goes, energy flows. So whatever I have my mind on, my eye on, is what is literally happening. And so when I have a big goal or I have a really big intention, I focus everything on that. When I listen to podcasts, I'm listening about the thing that I'm trying to manifest, or the thing I'm trying to do, or the thing, or my goal that's happening. When I'm reading books that support that. When I'm talking to people, I'm oftentimes mentioning it or talking to people about it. I'm trying to keep it top of mind. So like with the weight loss, I didn't tell my family that I was going to lose weight. That would have been disastrous, because that would have been a lot of outside expectation that I didn't need. But I started listening to people's stories of weight loss. I started reading people's memoirs of weight loss. I started reading blogs about weight loss. I started, going to the mall and trying different styles or trying smaller sizes on, just to like get myself in that energy of weight loss. I would wear my exercise clothes. I would go for a walk, but I would put myself in the energy of weight loss. And I found that to be very, very supportive, because you're beginning to, it's part of your maintenance. You're beginning to adopt the lifestyle, the mindset, the interest of the person that you want to be, which is the person that's 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 pounds lighter than you are now, or the person that doesn't have arthritic joints, or the person who, is no longer pre-diabetic. You're putting yourself in that energy. You're putting yourself in the story of the person that healed their diabetes with food. Like because you are becoming that person. So how do you get started? You get started by surrounding yourself with messages of where you're going. And this is an important idea. So I'm not asking you to surround yourself with messages of where you are. That's not going to help you. It's the messages of where your thoughts or your mind or your life or your actions or your habits would be once you got to your goal. So when you're reading a weight loss memoir, for instance, you're obviously reading about the person's process, but that person is on the other side of the line right now. So you are entering into the mindset of the person on the other side of the line. And that person is telling you this is possible. This is accessible to you. This is available to you because it was available to me. And so the third idea, or the third kind of leg on our three-legged stool of how do we get started, is you start surrounding yourself with information, stories, habits, input that put you in that place. So for instance, with Jolie, I'm trying to expand Jolie. I'm trying to make it so that healthy eating is accessible to everyone, so that everyone knows that they can completely transform their health, their life, their looks, everything with food. And of course you can use other modalities, but food is kind of the central information for your body. So if you try and do it without food, it's like you're trying to drink water with a cup that has a hole in it. Of course I want to do that. So since that's my goal, I'm surrounding myself with podcasts that are about building businesses and getting the word out. I'm reading things about what amazing transformation happens when people eat good food. I'm talking to people who have transformed their fertility. For instance, this morning I was talking to a woman who could not have a child and had lots of fibroids in her uterus and was able to shrink her fibroids with food. I'm talking to people like that because I want to just surround myself with the transformational energy of food. So that is an example of how it supports my goal. So I'm keeping in the forefront of my vision, food is transformational and the story needs to be spread. So when you are attempting to do significant change, there are 3 steps. Here's your little recap. First is action. You get started, you do something, anything. It doesn't matter how small, how big. 2, you commit to yourself. You commit that I can do this. I may not know how to do it right now. I may not fully believe that it's possible, but I'm going to stay with myself like that most amazing parent ever until I get there. And I'm going to be gentle. I'm not giving up on myself. And the 3rd point is I'm going to surround myself with messages that tell me this is possible, that give me instruction, that inspire me, that move me in the right direction, so that when my own resolve is faltering or when I don't know the next step or the next action, I've filled my environment with things, ideas, thoughts, books, people, energy that's going to support and answer those questions and help me to know what the next step is. So it is October. It is fall. Do not give up on yourself. Your goals are important, and begin to think about the new year, because I'm going to do a New Year's retreat, which I do every year, to help set intentions, to help release this year, to help celebrate this year. Celebration is always important, and to help really just make next year the best year ever. Anyway, thank you, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.